What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video I'm going to talk about Firestar. I'm going to give you my first impressions on this character, what she's going to be able to do, which are the best game modes for you to focus on. We're going to talk about ISO 8, we have a bunch of things to talk about related with her. First impressions, it's that she's not going to be like super important, and we know that she's going to be the month-long character, and you should be able to get 4 stars on her. So if you are thinking about spending power cores for her or not, well, you don't have to spend power cores. She's gonna perform fine at 4 stars, and you can save her power cores instead for upcoming events, where we'll have an event coming up in 1 or 2 weeks where you have also to spend power cores. So keep that in mind when you are making the decision if you should go for this character or not. And if you are still thinking about the Iron Fist event, the best way to complete that event is just to blitz harder, to do more rotations. But once again, we are here to talk about Firestar. So we're going to take a look at her T4s ISO 8, we're going to take a look at the gameplay of Dark Dimension Alliance Wars, and see what she's going to be able to provide to her team, and if she brings any benefit to the meta. Also, we're going to talk about Dark Dimension 6, as I think she's going to be a very important character. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button. Okay, so speaking of her unlock, month-long event character, you're going to get 4 stars almost guaranteed. In terms of red stars, should you get big red stars on her, small red stars? She is a character that could use some big red stars because she has a lot of piercing damage on her kit. So basic, special, and ultimate, all of those apply piercing damage, or all of them do piercing damage. All of them apply negative effects, and on top of that, she also attacks outside of her own turn. And the attack requires damage and focus as well. So it's going to be important that you get this character as big as possible, exactly because of that, because you want her to apply the negative effects to the enemies. So in terms of red stars, I mean, go as much as you can, but be careful. If you already have her at 4 or 5, you should just save your orbs. Something that is going to help you to win in Marvel Strike Force is knowing when you should stop. And even that I would like to get big red stars on her, a 7 or a 6, I'm gonna save my orbs. I got a 5 and I'm gonna save my orbs. So I still have 1 Elite 7 and 3 6s to use, and 20 Elite 5s and 29 Elite 4s. So I've been using my basic orbs just to get our promotion credits, and then I save all the elites, and as soon as I get the character, I just let it sit like there, because we have the silver promotion credits, we have the gold promotion credits, and that's a better way of opening red stars than just using your basic orbs. Now, if you guys want to see the red stars that I pulled, we can take a look at that. This was during my live stream. Usually when there is a character unlock, I always unlock the character, pull red stars, and also test the character out, in case you want to have some first-hand experience. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at that, and you'll see that I'll spend the bare minimum of orbs that is like necessary for us to spend, because once again, we have gold promotions, we have silver promotions, we have all of that. So anything, if you get 4 or anything around 4, just keep with that and save your orbs. It's just the best way to go about this game. If you want to stay free to play, light spender, and so on. Okay, so here we go for some orbs. We're gonna open these red star orbs for Firestar, and once again, because I wanted some big red stars for her, I'm gonna open Elite 5s. So we got a Green Goblin, 5 red stars, he's already at 5. Most of my characters, I think all characters, I already have at 5 red stars. And this is because I have been opening a lot of silver promotion credits, and also because I score very high in Blitz. Because I score very high in Blitz, I have a lot of red star fragments, and also elite fragments, and that allows me to have more of these. Okay, so we got Yelena Belova, once again already at 5, and there we go, 3 orbs, that's it. 3 orbs, we got her at 5, and that's all we need. And now we're gonna skip on into unlocking her. Okay, so we're going to talk now about her ISO 8, and then we are going to talk about the T4s, because that's going to be important. as the ISO weight and the T4s are somewhat related. And I also want to show you something, which is the stats of this team when you have the team fully paired up, and also with the new character that is coming very, very soon. What's her name? The girl, the Gwenpool. Okay, so here we go. We have now the spreadsheet ready, and I'm going to show you. So we have the spreadsheet with the stats of the characters. So this is how the characters are going to look like maxed out without ISO weight. This is the stats without ISO weight. Okay, so you can see that in terms of stats, Firestar is going to have a decent amount of health, amazing damage, 80,000 damage, and because she has piercing, it's really unbelievable. Really high armor, and this is very good. Then we have the focus. The focus, 29,000. For most teams is good, but if you're going to try to face like Darkhold or anything like that, then this focus is not super impressive because Morgan Le Fay, she has like 50,000 resistance, and you need a similar amount of focus to beat that high of a resistance. But overall 29,000 is pretty decent. And then we have resistance 23,000. So as you can see, overall she's very good stats, but this is like Cosmic Crucible stats. Keep in mind, once again, that this is without the ISO weight, so on a full character we should have much higher stats. Okay, so in terms of her, at 3 yellow stars, 3 red stars, she has 500,000 health, 38,000 damage, almost 39,000, and the focus is at 12,000 with the striker ISO weight. So that's pretty decent. It's not amazing. The focus seems a little bit scary. And one of the biggest problems is that this team can get offense up, but the offense up is very RNG based, or the offense up is based on Dagger having her turn, which is later on the turn, and that's not super convenient. So the focus might be a problem. If you feel like you are not going to get enough yellow stars and red stars for this character, and I mean below 4 yellow stars and 4 red stars, then you should probably consider using her as a skirmisher, just to make sure that she can apply negative effects to the enemies. She has very, very important negative effects like bleed, offense down, and trauma, heal block in Cosmic Crucible. These are great tools to face most of the teams that have a lot of regeneration, like Darkhold, like Gamma, and like the Tangled Web with Eternals. Okay, so with that in mind, with the fact that she's going to have all these focus requirements, how is she going to perform in terms of striker, and should you ever as a raider? Now the raider situation is something very interesting because she has all this extra crit damage, and she is one of the fastest characters, so you could start to attack the enemies with her ultimate, attack 4 times and apply multiple vulnerabilities to the enemies. And that would allow you to change your cloak from skirmisher to striker and dagger also to striker. Is that something you should do? I'm not sure about that. We need to see the speed of Gwenpool and see exactly what she's going to do. Because after you do the ultimate with Firestar, you actually don't have a lot of benefits of using this character as a raider. So it's quite a problem because she's only useful as a raider for the first turn with her ultimate. If you decide to start with her special, you're not going to even get this kind of benefits. Now, let's talk about her as a striker. The striker is actually very convenient because whenever she does the basic attack, she's going to do the more piercing damage and more bleeds to the enemies. So it's going to be a very powerful basic or a very powerful ISO weight attack. On top of that, with the ISO weight attack and with the basic attack, she can apply offense up to new warriors and to Spider-Man or Iceman allies. Now, these random new warriors includes herself, so keep this in mind. She will also give offense up to herself, so there is a chance that you might not be able to apply offense up to the character you really want. Then this attack gets 25% extra crit chance. And yes, you could make a raider on her and increase this crit chance to make it even higher so she can get more charges. The problem is that you only use her basic on the 3rd turn. 3rd turn is usually too late. So in my opinion, I rather have the striker to give the more precision damage, to give the extra attack with the basic, to give extra offense ups to the team. and then just rely on luck to get more charges. The charges are great, but with Gwenpool, Firestar is gonna get tons and tons of charges anyway, so the value of the Raider is gonna diminish when Gwenpool will come to the game, because the charges, the basic attack for charges is no longer going to be as important as it is today. Okay, so with that in mind, once again, Skirmisher, if you're ever at low level, to make sure that she applies the trauma, heal block, offense down, defense down, slow to the enemies. Striker, if you are thinking that you're gonna get her to 4 yellow or higher, and Raider only until Gwenpool doesn't arrive. So I think my final decision ISO for her is gonna be the Striker. Now in terms of T4s, it's pretty much all the T4s. The passive on spawn, she's gonna get 1 charge. That 1 charge is going to apply offense down and flip speed up on the enemies, so that means she's going to stop enemies from going faster. And even if she's facing Apocalypse, she can remove that speed up from Apocalypse in case she's still charged. Then the ultimate, if you do the T4, we have additional piercing damage, we have trauma, we have heal block in Cosmic Crucible, so this is a definitely must-have T4 in Cosmic Crucible. Then we have the special, instead of flipping 1 positive effect, you're gonna flip 3 positive effects, so once again this is a must-have T4 for her. And then we have the basic. As a striker, I would say that this is almost a must-have T4, but it's the last one. The basic is the one that you should do last, because we don't have Gwenpool, and we also need to gear up and get shards for her, so it might take a while for you to do this T4. Okay, so that's Firestar. In terms of game modes, we're gonna take a look at some Dark Dimension gameplay. We're gonna take a look at some Alliance Wars gameplay. We can also take a look at some Cosmic Crucible gameplay from the different envoys that we had, and see how exactly she's going to perform today without Gwenpool. And then we're gonna take a look at her in Blitz and a few other situations where she might be interesting as well. So let's take a look into that. Okay, so let's take a look at some gameplay of Firestar in Dark Dimension 4, and we're going to use the team that I'm considering for Dark Dimension 6. And I'm considering this team because, I mean, they're all part of the same team, or at least most of them, and Spider-Man also has some synergies with Firestar. I might replace Spider-Man in the future with Gwenpool and make my city team the Mystic, the mostly Mystic team. And Shang-Chi and Firestar, both of them have value in Cosmic Crucible and in somewhat in Alliance Wars, so this is something that might be convenient for us. New Warriors, Cloak and Dagger, the old New Warriors, they are still extremely useful in raids, and to be honest, I think they're going to be the future of the raids. But we'll see about that whenever we have the incursion raids. Okay, let's take a look at this gameplay and see how exactly they perform and how exactly they synergize with each other. Of course, we are punching down on the content, but either way, we can still get a look at how the team flows. Let's say like that. Okay, so she goes first, and this is why the ISO weight for her might be different based on what you prefer, but the fact that she applies so many bleeds, it's a great striker. Let's be honest, whenever you have a character that applies so many bleeds, it's literally insane, and it's kind of convenient to use them as strikers. Okay, so on top of the bleeds, she also applies a bunch of negative effects to the enemies. She has the offense down and bleed, and this is why the ultimate, even as a striker, is pretty decent, because not only you are doing tons and tons of damage to the enemies, you are also lowering their offense. So that means that you are kind of in a safe space where you don't have to worry too much about the enemy's damage output. For example, Ghost Rider is attacking us, but he's doing barely any damage, and that's exactly because we apply that offense down to him. So you can see that in terms of damage output, this team is very, very strong, and it's probably one of the strongest setups that you can take for Dark Dimension 6. It's going to be a little bit complicated to get all these Mystic characters ready to go, but it's an investment for the future, and we are investing not only for Dark Dimension, but also for Cosmic Crucible, of course. In terms of other game modes, Firestar might have some problems, But once again, we don't know yet because Gwenpool is going to change quite a lot the dynamic of this team. We don't know her speed yet, but based on what she does on spawn, just that alone is going to change dramatically how this team plays out. But so far so good. You can see that the combination of Shang-Chi healing together with Dagger is enough to keep the team alive. Then we have the evades with Cloak and Dagger, so they absorb a lot of damage like that as well. And then we have the insane burst damage that each of these characters do. And Firestar improves upon this by allowing more consistently to have offense up on all our characters. So you can see right now that we could have even Dagger always give you offense up to Shang-Chi, and then one additional character that is not New Warrior, and Dagger could be giving offense up to that character, and then Firestar would be giving offense up to the other characters that were not next to Dagger. But as you can see, this team works very well, and I'm actually very excited to test them out whenever Dark Dimension 6 comes along. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some more action in Dark Dimension 4, but now we are going to do something different. We are going to use Firestar with X Factor. And this combination with characters is actually insane, but for this combination you kinda need Firestar to be a raider. This is because whenever the enemies go first, she can crit on the enemies, and that will allow your Shatterstar to go faster. So you can see that Shatterstar is going before anyone else, then a long shot will go, then Polaris will go, Polaris will pull everyone together, and then Firestar with her special or with her ultimate, she can incinerate everyone. And this is a great combination. I'm not sure exactly where this might come handy in Avengers Tower, maybe. In Blitz, this team is amazing. I tested this team out in Blitz. This is guaranteed win, and it's super fun just to watch. And even in Dark Dimension, look how many Blitz those enemies have. So yeah, this is a super good combo. Is it gonna have some use in Cosmic Crucible? Is it gonna have some use in Alliance Wars? Maybe we can find some place where we can use this team. For now, I didn't find yet, but give me some time and then we'll see if you can actually use these characters. Now, I'm gonna tell you right away which is gonna be the best place for you to use this combination of characters. So X Factor plus Firestar. This is going to be amazing for the people that are still trying to get Archangel at 7 yellow stars, right? With the Death Saga, there is a mutant section where X Factor, they are pretty decent there, and Firestar, she just shines on this team. So this is something that we'll be testing out in the future, the combination of Firestar and X Factor in the Dead Sea, the Scourge. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some action of Firestar in Alliance Wars, and we are going to go against a staple team, which is the Young Avengers. If this team cannot beat the Young Avengers, then they are pretty much useless. So let's take a look at exactly how they perform against the Young Avengers. And like we already know, this is a Cosmic Crucible team. This is a team that will be decent for Dark Dimension, but I think that's pretty much it. We'll see very quickly that this team has nothing on the teams that are important in terms of Alliance Wars. We don't have any traumas, we don't have a mass attorney wind or anything like that. We don't have like insane effects, we don't have stuns, we don't have ability blocks. So it might be quite problematic for this team to do anything useful to you in Alliance Wars. But if you are gearing up this team for Cosmic Crucible, maybe you will end up using them in Alliance Wars defense, probably with American Chavez or some other character that gives them speed, because otherwise they are just not that great. They have really good damage. They have really good damage, but you can also easily play around them, and then they cannot do anything. So I was trying to get rid of that Squirrel Girl and trying to get rid of the Echo, but I was just not able to do. We just don't have the tools in order for this team to win. Is that going to be the case when Gwenpool comes around? Probably yes, but not to the same extent. Probably this team will still suck in Alliance Wars, but at least in Alliance Wars defense they are going to be a lot better, because they have all those benefits that Gwenpool gives to them. On offense, a very situational usage. As you can see, they're really struggling to beat the Young Avengers, and that's something not to brag about, especially when you are punching down 100k or 200k in Alliance Wars. Okay, let's take a look at a few more matches and see how they perform. Okay, so we are going to take a look at the New Warriors versus Rebirth, and the reason why we are facing Rebirth is because the developers, they really want us to get up our Rebirth. They are going to change the rooms from Cosmic Crucible, where room 6 now is going to be a Rebirth room, where it's going to get benefits from Rebirth characters, also military characters, also symbiote characters. And we are going to start to see some very big Rebirth in the near future because of that, because of Cosmic Crucible, because of the new raids as well, the incursion raids. And at least the New Warriors can beat somewhat easily the Rebirth in Alliance Wars defense, and this might be convenient in the future in case what I'm predicting to happen ends up happening. Okay, so now you're going to take a look at New Warriors versus Hero Asgardians, and once again, this is another staple team in Alliance Wars defense, and if the New Warriors cannot beat this, well, that tells you that this team is not going to have a lot of value in terms of Alliance Wars. Now, maybe I should have played it a little bit differently, maybe that would be the case, but unfortunately, the burst damage is just great, but as soon as Thor starts going, it's really going to be a problem. So we're going to be able to remove Thor, but then we're going to get slapped so hard that we can't come back from it. With Gwenpool, this is going to be slightly better because she's going to provide a bunch of evades. So there is a lot of damage that you can bypass with those evades. But as you can clearly see, we have Safeguard on the enemy team. We don't have any kind of trauma in Alliance Wars, it's only Cosmic Crucible. So the disrupts will not stick for long. And that's pretty much it. So this is another staple team in Cosmic Crucible defense that we struggle or that we are not able to win. So that really shows that New Warriors, they were definitely not built for Alliance Wars, and once again, that the best use for them will probably be on defense with some kind of hybrid that allows them to stay alive for a while. Okay, so first off, we're gonna take a look at some gameplay of the New Warriors with Firestar in Cosmic Crucible against Gamma. This video is provided by Pathfinder Gaming. This is on the test server, so everything is subject to change, including the bugs. We might have more bugs in the live version. And the New Warriors right now, they were already pretty decent against Gamma, but we have better solutions against Gamma anyway. But next season Gamma is going to get nerfed, so the solutions that we had in the past no longer will work against Gamma, because Gamma will be too weak. Yes, if the enemies are too weak, you might have problems. But let's take a look at this gameplay. This is with Quicksilver. Do you need Quicksilver for this to work? Absolutely not. What you want to do is to make sure that you have someone that applies negative effects to the enemies, maybe some turn rewind, maybe some offense down, and you are going to be good to go. So you can see you spread all those bleeds with Firestar and then with Deathpool, and the match is pretty much over. You have to kill She-Hulk before she gets all those negative effects to your face, and then you just need a character or that applies disrupt to Hulk, or that removes the taunt. And then what you want to do is to apply defense down or blind to the enemy Red Hulk, and then you are going to destroy him. Once again, if you have Firestar with the Striker ISO 8, all that piercing damage on Red Hulk is going to completely incinerate him, and it's not going to be a problem. So if you just apply blind to Red Hulk, it's pretty much game over, because the blind makes him fail his ultimate, so you'll not have to worry about the trauma, he'll block, and so on. Okay, we have another video from Pathfinder Gaming against the Darkhold, and once again, this is on the test server. I'm not an envoy, so I cannot provide this type of content to you right now, but in the future, whenever the Cosmic Crucible comes back, we can try these teams out if it makes sense. The problem with the New Warriors versus the Darkhold is that they have really high resistance, and they also spawn with Safeguard and the defense down. Now, even if they have Safeguard, you can still apply Trauma to them, but there is a very high chance that the Trauma will be resisted. So this is a match that you want to avoid as much as possible. To be honest, it's very unlikely that we'll see Darkhold on defense, because Darkhold is going to get one more set of nerfs in the upcoming season, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to use them on defense on Cosmic Crucible. But let's take a look at this gameplay and see exactly how they perform. So once again, we are going to apply all those bleeds, apply the Trauma, apply the heal block, and then we just have to turn rewind as much as possible the enemy team with the offense downs. So if you have a character that applies multiple offense downs to the enemy team, that's going to be great. Pathfinder was using Quicksilver here, which I'm not exactly sure if it's the best option, but as always, it's an option. And then you just have to shred the most dangerous characters. To be honest, the most dangerous characters here is going to be Strange and Agatha, because Agatha, she can apply stuns to Cloak. So keep that in mind. If you fail to apply the blinds to Morgan Le Fay, this is pretty much game over instantly. But yes, if you can land the blind to Morgan Le Fay, and if you can get rid of Agatha, you might actually have a chance of winning. Once again, based on the focus, based on the mechanics of the team, I definitely do not recommend to use Young Avengers or New Warriors. I apologize, to use New Warriors against Darkhold. But yes, it's something that it's possible to do if you are desperate. Now we're going to take a look at Room 5, and we're going to see if the New Warriors can already beat the Room 5 Tangled Web with Eternals, and the answer of course is going to be not. They cannot beat it. The reason why is because we don't have Gwenpool. Gwenpool is going to be the character that allows you to survive. We're going to talk about Gwenpool in another video, because people don't really understand how this team is supposed to work, so I'm going to explain to you before the team is released, and before you make the mistake of using the New Warriors on Room 5. As you can see, they are getting pretty much destroyed, so until you have the full team, this is not going to work out. You can see with your eyes that it's not going to work. They're getting destroyed with Icarus, and that's pretty much it. Even if you have Apocalypse here, I think it's going to show as well, even if you have Apocalypse here, it's not going to make a difference. So New Warriors plus Apocalypse. The reason why is because Apocalypse, he only gives Safeguard to 2 characters that are not Horseman characters. Your Firestar, she's going to be the weakest character, so she's always the character to get the defense up and so on. And if Apocalypse does not get attacked, that means he's going after everyone else and is going to get destroyed by Icarus. So even if you use Apocalypse here, it's going to be extremely RNG based. It's going to be extremely RNG on which characters get the Safeguard and the immunity and defense up from Apocalypse. And you also need the enemies to attack Apocalypse before anything else. So it's definitely convoluted, it's definitely something you should avoid as much as possible. So yeah, even if you got Firestar right now, they are still not a solution to Room 5. That will only happen when Gwenpool arrives to the game. Okay, last video of this Cosmic Crucible section, we're gonna take a look at Mr. Artgrave. He had the bright idea of using New Warriors against Infinity Watch. I don't know, I really don't understand why, because Infinity Watch, they spawn with Safeguard, defense up and immunity. So why are you using this team? Why are you trying to make the characters to look as worse as possible when you are attempting a match that they have literally no chance against? But let's take a look at this amazing gameplay of Mr. Artgrave and his bright ideas. Once again, New Warriors that need to apply negative effects against a team that has immunity, Safeguard and defense up on spawn. 500,000 IQ, 100% guaranteed. And yeah, that's the best envoy we have right now, the envoy of hate. Okay, so here we go. Mr. Artgrave with his amazing gloves is going to do, let's see, 20 seconds to make one decision. Okay, he finally does the ultimate. Oh, what a surprise. They have immunity, Safeguard and defense up. So no negative effects were applied to the team. What a surprise. Who could have predicted this? Literally no one. Literally no one. So Nebula goes and Nebula applies heal block to everyone. And Firestar, she's almost on her knees. Because, of course, the team is not supposed to get attacked, especially without Gwenpool. And now they have a bunch of evades, they still have defense up, they still have immunity, they still have safeguard, so guess what's gonna happen? Cloak is going to do his ultimate and he's going to fail to apply negative effects. Oh, he's not even gonna try it, he's gonna quit the match because he just noticed that his bright idea was not that bright. Okay guys, so that was the review on Firestar. We took a look at Dark Dimension gameplay, we took a look at Alliance Wars gameplay, we took a look at Cosmic Crucible gameplay, and what is the conclusion? Well, Firestar and the whole New Warriors team is going to be a very mediocre team. They're going to be very mid, and that's the reality of it. Even in Cosmic Crucible, until Gwen comes around, they are not going to be that great. But let me tell you something. You don't have to use these characters together. You don't have to use these characters together. If you understand what I mean, is that you can put Firestar in other teams and her trauma, heal block and so on are going to be extremely beneficial to you. So keep this in mind. There are other characters out there that are going to pair up very well together with Firestar. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel to see her in action in Cosmic Crucible outside of her own team until Gwen comes around, and then you can use Gwen with her or without her. It's like the Masters of Evil. I use Ultron on other team outside of Kang. I use Moonstone sometimes outside of the Masters of Evil because yes, these characters have enough flexibility for you to use them in other teams. Now, outside of Cosmic Crucible, in Alliance Wars, this team doesn't seem to be that great unless you pair them up with some Dormammu or some American Chavez and put them on defense to have that very big burst damage early on defense. In terms of Dark Dimension, I think this is going to be a great character, not only because she's extremely cheap, also because she has the other utility with Cloak and Dagger, and she's a city character, and she also has synergies with other city characters like Spider-Man. So overall, even that the performance in Cosmic Crucible and Alliance Wars is not that great, I think this is still a great character that will give you a lot of value in Dark Dimension 6, and if you are smart enough, or if you follow my channel, you're gonna be able to use her in different situations in other game modes together with her team or together with other characters. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel for that content, and that's gonna be all for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Firestar. For the last note, should you spend power cores on her? Should you try to rush her? Is she going to do day one huge change in terms of Cosmic Crucible? Probably not. So don't worry too much about her, just build her slowly, focus more on your other teams like Incursions for the upcoming raids and so on, instead of focusing specifically on this character. Or focus on Quicksilver. Quicksilver is nice too. We have a very cool video coming up soon to the channel about Quicksilver. So yeah guys, that's gonna be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.